Yo, what's good, YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoop, back with a Ninamori Nation Draft League. And we have our Season 4, Week number 8 match taking on Soul. Forgot his team name, unfortunate. Soul. Perhaps didn't have a team name, or a logo, or something like that. I'm not real sure. Regardless, he's got a pretty potent squad, as you can see on screen. Landorus and Thunderous, both variants, which is pretty cool. He's got the Latios, Crawdaunt, Rotom Wash, and Tangrowth. Deciding actually not to bring quite a few different threats, and opted on this team. Since our battle, this team has since been taken over by a new coach, and they have a completely different roster from when we faced. So I'm not doing like a team building section because I don't actually have it. I don't have the entire roster that Soul had. So what other at the least, the other 3 to 6 months he could potentially have, I don't have access to those anymore. But our squad hasn't changed this season. Still pretty much rocking the exact same squad, not pretty much, 100% the same. And for this match in particular, we've decided to bring Mega Metagross, Hydreigon, Clefable, Suicune, Landorus Incarnate, and our Decidueye. I think we might have brought our Pokemon out of order this time, maybe not. I'm pretty sure that Landorus was a round 5 pick though. Regardless, leaving on the bench this week, Licky, Oricorio, and Mudsdale. I've only got 9 Pokemon because of my budget. Mega Metagross is expensive, and then I got 4 other really expensive Pokemon. So, anyways, building the squad, I looked at a couple different options and ultimately decided on the team that I have here that we're getting ready to go over. So, that being said, his only potential Stealth Rockers in this match, I believe he had Mega Mawile at the time of having Landorus. So Landorus was Mega Mawile was another potential Stealth Rocker, and the only one he brought to this match though would be the Landorus Therian. He has a couple different defog options. He has 4 different defog options actually, so he's very prepared for any kind of Stealth Rocks that I may set myself. However, I don't have hazard stacking options, such as to the extent where my opponent would have to bring multiple defoggers or anything like that. So yeah, back to our prep. We do got some pretty cool sets this week, so let's hop into it. Mega Metagross is going to be a sub 3 attacks variant. So I got sub there. I can sub up on potential Sucker Punch from Mega Mawile, or if Landorus is like locked into perhaps Stone Edge or Hidden Power Ice for my own Landorus, or U-Turn or something like that, I can set up a sub on that. I'm very, very, very bulky with 200 HP investment. We have Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, and Bullet Punch with a Jolly Nature so that we can speed tie with the Latios there. We have 56 attack EVs, which gives us enough damage output to 2-hit KO and OHKO everything that we can potentially 2-hit KO and OHKO. And then Bullet Punch is there to kind of like a safety net versus things like +2 Mega Mawile if it's chipped down pretty low and it does have Sucker Punch and I'm not in a position to sub up, then I would rather just click Bullet Punch in that situation. And it can also help versus like a Choice Scarf Lati, Thunderous Therian that could potentially get out of hand. I know it's resistant, but it's better than just watching my Pokemon drop one after another. And of course, it's nice for a Choice Scarf Landorus. So if he is Choice Scarf and he's weakened enough to be in Bullet Punch range, I could still pick him off that way and not be forced out. Next up we have Hydreigon, which is another bulky set. We're actually max HP on this set with a timid nature, enough speed to outpace, I think, Landorus. And then we have 60 special attack EVs with Dark Pulse and Fire Blast being our only two attacking moves. Really unfortunate that we didn't bring Dragon Pulse, as the only reason we brought Fire Blast was because of the Mega Maul, but he doesn't even bring it, so Dual Stab would have been fantastic in this match. Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse, with our last two moves being Substitute and Roost. I can sub on Tangrowth if it brings Sleep Powder, if it doesn't have any kind of coverage for me. Same thing for Rotom Wash. I don't expect it to have Disarming Voice or anything like that. Also, can sub up on a Crawdaunt if it's not choice banded. If it's like Dragon Dance or Life Orb or something like that, it's not going to be doing too much with Knockoff, Crab Hammer, and Aqua Jet, so it'd have to run some kind of coverage for me. And yeah, it's pretty nice. I do outpace his entire squad outside of the Thunders and the Laddie, bar Choice Scarf users, which is really nice for me. And then Dark Pulse spam is really nice in this matchup, as he brings no resist outside of his own Crawdaunt, which doesn't have the best defenses. And speaking of Crawdaunt, I have many ways around that. First one being a Clefable here, which is actually faster than Crawdaunt. And then we've got Suicune, we've got Decidueye, so we've got a couple different options to deal with it there. So with Clefable, we have a Timid Nature Unaware set with a little bit of defense investment. The Leftovers item, just for a little bit extra recovery each turn. Moonblast, Flamethrower, Wish, Protect, pretty self-explanatory. Flamethrower being there for the Mega Maul as well. Of course, he doesn't bring it. Maybe expected me to over-prepare for it, which makes sense. And his team, or didn't match up that well versus my team. I have Mons that can OHKO it pretty comfortably, and Mons that can take a hit like Suicune. So I can understand why he didn't bring it. However, we do have Wish and Protect on Clefable, so this thing can pass Wishes into things like Suicune, Mega Metagross, Hydreigon, even Decidueye and Suicune appreciate Wishes being passed. Speaking of Suicune, we have a especially defensive Suicune here. I get a little bit of defensive ease with quite a bit of speed investment, and we've got Toxic, Sub, Protect, and Scald, so we can sub up versus things like Tangrowth, potentially even Rotom Wash. And we can fire off Toxics, catch the Latios or the Tangrowth with. It's really nice for us. We've got Protect and Sub, which could be nice if, depending on what his answer is. And using Sub and Protect is really nice with pressure. Sorry about that. With pressure to beat down on the Tangrowth. Next up, we have Decidueye, which is going to be my immediate Tangrowth and Thunderous answer. With the Yachi Berry, I can take both of those on pretty comfortably. Max HP, max F, I'm not playing around. We've got Toxic U-Turn with Shadow Sneak, just for a little bit of priority there versus things like the Latios, potentially the Thunderous, and things like that. Toxic and Roost will 100% 1v1 Tangrowth that doesn't have something like Rest or I think that's it. I think Rest is the only way you can bypass that. Next up we have Landorus, and with our own Landorus here, we're rocking the Yachi Berry, I believe. But I might have changed it to a Life Orb right before the match. I'm not sure. It's either a Yachi Berry or a Life Orb. And we have a Sheer Force Landorus. Really nice. Timid Nature, Speed Ties with his Thunderous Therian, I believe. Landorus Incarnate. We have 108 attack EVs, 148 special attack EVs with max speed to speed tie with Thunderous Therian. We have Gravity, which puts all of his Pokemon on the ground. So things like Landorus, Thunderous, Latios, and Rotom Wash are all grounded Pokemon at that point, and are smacked by Earth Power. So we got the Gravity, the Earth Power, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is there for, I don't 100% recall, but it looks like it's only there because of Thunderous Therian. The potential to not have a Gravity up. I would like to just have Rock Slide on there to smack that thing, because my last move is Hidden Power, and it's not effective, or it's not super effective versus Thunderous Therian. It's actually resisted because I am rocking the Hidden Power Flying for the tang growth. So yeah, it's going to be nice. But yeah, it's going to be the squad. We can go ahead and hop into the battle now and see how things actually went. So looking at his potential leads, he's got a couple different options. Like I said, his choice scarfer, or his only potential stealth rocker, is Lander's Theron. I don't know why I said choice scarfer. He could lead off with that. It's also a nice pivot for U-turning. Same thing for Thunder's Theron and Rotom Wash can both bolt switch out. Things I don't see him leading with are his Latios or Crawdaunt. Maybe Tangrowth, but I don't necessarily expect that, as that would give me free rocks versus pretty much anything I wanted to anything I wanted to lead with. If I led with one of my stealth rockers, it gives me free rocks always. So I don't expect my opponent to allow that to happen. And like I said, Landers, it looks like it's his first Pokemon in the move slot, or does it work like that? I'm not real sure, but I think that's his first Pokemon in his team, so he may have built to lead with it. Anyways, we're gonna test it here, see what he's gonna lead with. Is I'm gonna lead off with my Hydreigon, as it should outpace everything outside of the Latios and the Thundurus. So let's go ahead and hop into it here. He does lead Landers. I'm going to lead off with my Hydreigon, like I said. I can click Dark Pulse here, or I can click Sub. I'm just going to hard switch out into my Suicune. So my opponent actually predicts that and makes a nice double out into the Rotom Wash. And now he's going to be able to Volt Switch out. He could throw off a Toxic, predicting my Decidueye to come in. I'm not real sure what he'll do, so I'm just going to sub here. And he actually goes for the Will-O-Wisp after he reveals the Volt Switch. I'm going to be able to poison the Rotom Wash, which is just fantastic for me, as he does break my sub, Volt Switching out into the Thundurus. And here I don't want to, I showed Protect earlier, so I didn't want this thing to get a free Nasty Plot. So I click Toxic here, expecting my opponent to maybe throw up a Nasty Plot or an Agility, and then in the following turn I could switch out. But my opponent goes straight for the Thunderbolt, blows through my Suicune. I actually thought I had a chance of living too, and I'm going to go immediately into my Mega Metagross. I'm going to throw off a Zen Headbutt, and I get a flinch. Now, that flinch is not going to matter unless he went for like Thunderbolt and got a Para, or Dark Pulse and got a crit, because he wasn't going to knock me out, and I don't necessarily need HP on this thing at this point, unless Crawdaunt becomes a problem in the late game. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to throw off a Meteor Mash here, as he does go out into Tangrowth, revealing the Rocky Helmet. I'm going to go hard out into my Decidueye, and he reveals the Earthquake. Bounces off my Decidueye though. I throw off a Toxic there, wanting to poison the Tangrowth as well, but he does go out to Thundurus. I pick it off with a Shadow Sneak real quick, don't want it to be an issue, and he goes hard out to the Landers, and not wanting to take a Supersonic Sky Strike, I go straight to my Clefable, as he just clicks U-turn. U-turn's out there, and I don't have a way to hit Tangrowth super well. I got the Flamethrower, but it's not gonna do much to this thing. So I'm gonna get Rocks up here. Kind of expecting my opponent to expect my Decidueye on the following Sleep Powder, as he went for Sleep on my Protect. So I'm able to get Rocks up there free and go into Decidueye on this turn, as he does go for the Sleep Powder. So getting all these turns right is really nice for me. Tough for my opponent. But at this point, I'm able to Toxic his Latios, which is fantastic for me. He drops a Draco, and I'm just going to Roost up here. I didn't need to switch out or anything like that. I knew I could survive any one hit, and if he went for something that wasn't Draco, then I would play accordingly. But like I said, he did just click Draco, which allowed me to Roost off the damage pretty easily. And then he was going to be whittled by the Toxic damage, so he switches the following turn. And I don't believe I did any kind of damage, but I do U-turn out here as he brings in the Landers. So this is an okay position for me. I have the momentum back in my favor. I can go into whatever I want. And I'm just going to go out to Clefable here. At this point, he doesn't have a Moonblast switch in, so I'm just going to start firing off some Moonblast as my opponent goes into the Rotom Wash. Allows it to take a little bit of damage, which is really nice for the rest of my squad as well. He goes for the Pain Split though, so he gets quite a bit of health back there. A little bit unfortunate for me, but I do have the GOAT Hydreigon set, as he does go for the Pain Split once again as I get the sub up. And now he's like in a tough position trying to break my sub there. He's missing some hydro pumps, but realistically, hydro pump is not coming close to breaking my sub. So I'm able to get rid of the rotom washer, and he brings in landers. So I know he's going to U-turn. So what I'm going to do is just sub up. As he breaks my sub, I get a new sub up, and he U-turns out into the Crawdon. I get a flinch here. It's not really going to matter. As you're going to see here, he is able to break my sub, but he's not going to be able to do much damage. As you're going to see here, when my metronome gets knocked off, he only does 49% max, and now my item's knocked off, and it's going to do even less now. You see that? I believe that's a choice band Crawdon doing 30% with knockoff, stab, choice band, adaptability. Anyways, brings in his landers to U-turn. This probably is a choice scarf user, so I'm trying to be a little bit weary of that and not let that thing pick up a free knockout on my Hydreigon. Since this thing did reveal sleep powder, I can sub up on that, which is really nice for me. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do here. So I try to get in my Hydreigon here. I know he's not going to sleep because I've revealed sub. So what I'm going to try to do now is get him on the sleep. But he's a smart player. He's not going to allow that to happen. He's just going to spam hidden power ice, I'm assuming. And yeah, it did really well there. I wasn't able to play around it. I knew he would go for sleep powder there because I couldn't sub up, so I went into my Decidueye, and I'm going to throw off another Toxic, but my opponent goes out into the Latios once again, and what I'm going to do is just click Shadow Sneak, I believe. No, I Roost, because of course, just like earlier, had he dropped a Draco, I would have been able to Roost that off pretty consistently, as he would have been whittled down with the Shadow Sneak. So at this point, all of his Pokemon are poison except the Landers, and it's not really a threat below half and taking rocks damage over and over and over. And he does U-turn out just once again here. Going to take another 12% from rocks whenever he does come in. Brings back in the Latios, and I have Clefable here, so I'm free to just click Moonblast, but I want to scout and see what he wants to do first. So he's going to decide to try to get rocks off the field. So what I'm going to do is just spam Stealth Rocks. This is my Stealth Rocker, so I'm not sure why he wanted to defog in front of me. And he's going to be able to defog once again. He doesn't die from Toxic just yet. Get my rocks back up, and then he's going to faint to the poison damage. And then he's forced to live with rocks anyway. And the Latios comes out doing nothing. Thankfully for me, though. Here he doubles into his Landers, expecting my Decidueye. He does get me, but it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into my Landers. I'm going to click the Hidden Power Flying. One shots the Tangrowth from this range. It did reveal the Rocky Helmet earlier, I believe, so it wasn't Assault Vest or anything like that. I am Yachi Berry. No. Apparently I'm Life Orb. Yeah. Okay, so I was Life Orb. I did change the Life Orb right before the match, and it didn't even come into play. He wasn't able to knock me out even without the Yachi Berry, so that was fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be a nice 5-0 victory. It was a long battle. I felt like I was definitely in control of the match, but it was just long. Couldn't make any mistakes, and as long as that was the case, I was able to play the long game and come out with the victory. Stealth Rocks up, Toxic damage racking up, and then things like Mega Metagross, Hydreigon, and Landorus to clean up in the late game. It's just fantastic. Loving the squad, and we're now sitting at, I believe, 8-0. Heading into week 9, which is going to be a fun one. I believe we play against Trip, aka Triple. So he's going to have a pretty fun squad. But we'll get into that next week. So let me know what you guys thought about the prep, the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.